dancing in the streets, but we're just at the beginning. Further cause of peace will require serious work and sacrifice by all sides. The United States, coalition, Taliban, the Afghan government, other Afghan leaders, and the Afghan people themselves to maintain the momentum needed to reach a comprehensive, inclusive, and durable peace. This agreement will mean nothing, and today's good feelings will not last if we don't take concrete actions on commitments and promises that have been made. When it comes down to it, the future of Afghanistan is for Afghans to determine. The U.S. Taliban deal creates the conditions for Afghans to do just that. Here's our take. Here's our take on what steps by the Taliban will make this agreement a success. First, keep your promises to cut ties with Al-Qaeda and other terrorists. Keep up the fight to defeat ISIS. Welcome the profound relief of all Afghan citizens, men and women, urban and rural, as a result of this past week's massive reduction in violence, and dedicate yourselves to continued reductions. It is this significant escalation of violence that will create the conditions for peace, and the absence of it, the conditions and the cause for failure. All Afghans deserve to live and prosper. Cause for failure. All Afghans deserve to live and prosper without fear. Sit down with the Afghan government, other Afghan political leaders, and civil society, and start the difficult conversations on a political roadmap for your country. Exercise patience, even when there is frustration. Honor the rich diversity of your country and make room for all views. Afghan governments have failed because they weren't sufficiently inclusive. The Afghan government of 2020, and indeed the Afghanistan of 2020, is not the same as in 2001. Embrace the historic progress obtained for women and girls, and build on it for the benefit of all Afghans. The future of Afghanistan ought to draw on the God-given potential of every single person. If you take these steps, if you stay the course and remain committed to negotiations with the Afghan government and other Afghan partners, we and the rest of the international community assembled here today stand ready to reciprocate. I know there will be a temptation to declare victory, but victory for Afghans will only be achieved when they can live in peace and prosper. Victory for the United States will only be achieved when Americans and our allies no longer have to fear a terrorist threat from Afghanistan. And we will do whatever it takes to protect our people. The United States will press all sides to stay focused on the goal of a peaceful, prosperous, and sovereign Afghanistan, an Afghanistan free of malign foreign interference, where all voices and communities are heard and are represented. This is the only way a sustainable peace can be achieved. And for all of us here, and most importantly, for the security of the American Afghan people, this must happen. Thank you.
Mike Pompeo, the US Secretary of State, speaking there in his opening address before the signing ceremony between the Taliban and the US, and perhaps the start of a long road to a longer-lasting peace. Let's bring in our correspondent, Osama bin Javed, who's been following events for the day. And of course, Osama, you know, the Secretary of State there hitting a tone of optimism, hope and partnership, but also caution.
Well, that's been the underlying.
Mike Pompeo, जो कि इस वक्त यहाँ पे ज़रा ख्याल कर रहे थे कतर दोहा के बराह रास्त मनाजिर आप देख रहे हैं तारीख साज ये वो मनाजिर हैं आज की तारीख में जोश भी शख्स ये मनाजिर अपनी स्क्रीन पर देख रहा है यकीनी तौर पे इस एतबार से तारीखी हैं क्योंकि जब तारीख दोहराई जाएगी तारीख पढ़ी जाएगी अफगान अमल खित्ते की बेहतरी इससे पाकिस्तान की काविशें पाकिस्तान का मौक़िफ़ हमेशा याद रखा जाएगा तारीखी मुआहदे की तकरीब का इनेकाद इस वक्त जारी है अमीर कतर की यहाँ पर मौजूदगी भी आप देख सकते हैं इसके अलावा आपको चलें कि नायब वज़ीर आज़म वज़ीर ख़ारजा जो हैं कतर के वो भी यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं
all of you representatives who have come here, who have participated in today's historical event about our country, I welcome you and I thank you. Afghanistan, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, the Taliban, and the United States, successful negotiations and the agreement for the Mujahid nation of Afghanistan, and is also good for the international community. And I congratulate everyone for that achievement. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, with the United States, the agreement that it has reached, we are committed to this agreement to enforce it. Also, we want, as a political force, to maintain with its neighbors, regional countries and international community, we want a positive relationship with all. The Afghan nation has been suffering for the past 4 decades. We have suffered tremendously, and I hope that with the withdrawal of all foreign forces from Afghanistan, that the Afghan nation, under an Islamic regime, will take its relief and embark on a new prosperous life. We all want to be attentive to the unity and prosperity of our country. For this reason, I call on all Afghan factions to honestly and sincerely for the establishment of a strong Islamic system come to negotiations, and so that for the Islamic values, we all come together for Islamic values around Afghanistan and for Afghanistan. And at the end, I would like to take the opportunity to express my gratitude to the Qatari Highness, and also to the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Abdurrahman Al-Sani, and also for other Qatari officials who, during this long period of negotiations, they supported the peace process and hosted us and facilitated everything for us, and took a lot of favor. I would like to thank them and express my gratitude for that. Also, in terms of peace, and the Pakistan's and thank them for their efforts, for their work and assistance. I would like to thank them for that. Also, I would like to thank China, Uzbekistan, Iran, Russia, Indonesia, Norway, and other countries who supported the peace process. I would like to thank them. And finally, I hope that in the rebuilding of Afghanistan, all of them to participate and to take part in the future of Afghanistan. And thank you so much. May peace be upon you all.
الملا عبد الغني البرادر، شكرا جزيلا لك. أما الآن فيسرني دعوة سعادة السيد.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Al-Mullah Abdul Ghani brother. I now call upon His Excellency Mr. Zalmay Khalilzad and Al-Mullah brother to sign the agreement. Honorable delegates, we kindly ask you to remain seated until the very end of the signing ceremony.
History is being made here in this moment. This is not a peace deal, but it is a significant step forward. For all the skepticism and uncertainty surrounding it, most Afghans know this is their best chance to move towards peace in a very long time.
3, 2, go for it.
History is being made in this moment. This is not a peace deal, but it is a significant